Hello everyone and welcome back to Microsoft Dangerous Creatures. Today, North American Trek. Let's get started.
In North America, you can find almost every kind of climate and habitat you can imagine, from frozen tundra to deserts to swamps to prairies. So there's a great variety of animal life there too. Our itinerary starts in the frigid north. Got your parka on? Well, take your hand out of your mitten for a minute and click my button to get started.
Okay, here we go.
Don't fall into that icy water. Unlike this polar bear, you could be dead in minutes. Now, one of the reasons polar bears can stay warm here in the Arctic, whether they're loping across the ice or paddling through the water, is because the hairs in their fur are hollow. So they fill up with air and insulate the bear from the cold. Oh, that's also why polar bears sometimes turn green in zoos where their water is stagnant. Green algae grows inside those hollow hairs. Oh, this bear is getting ready to come out of the water. No, let's get out of here. Oh dear, it's another bear. Well, but at least it's occupied. Those pesky little Arctic foxes often follow polar bears, just like little kids following big ones. Oh, by the way, polar bears are white all year round, well, except for those green ones I just mentioned. But Arctic foxes turn brown or gray in the summertime. I can't feel my toes anymore. Ooh, let's head south to balmy Alaska. Oh, I certainly hope the fish keeps this big fellow occupied. Brown bears like this grizzly are the largest predators on land. They now live mostly in Alaska and northern Canada, as well as a few spots in the Rocky Mountains. But when Europeans first crossed North America, these bears also roamed throughout the Great Plains. Personally, I find it amazing to think that these fearsome beasts were the inspiration for one of the most popular toys in all the world, the teddy bear. You see, the real bears aren't quite so cuddly.
Yes, indeed.
Oh dear, now look who's shown up. Wolverines have been known to make even mountain lions and grizzlies give up their kills. They'll eat almost any meat, whether it's freshly killed or it's been dead for days. They tear up carcasses and stash the pieces in a lot of different places so they'll have food later on. Sometimes they tear up cabins and tents in search of food too. Now, if that wolverine wants your sandwich, give it up.
Yes, the Wolverine was not. It's not a made-up name the creators at Marvel came up with. It's the name of an actual animal. Of course, how anyone could be so ignorant is beyond me. I knew about this animal before I knew about the character.
Listen to that. The music of the North. Oh, it may sound frightening, but it's nothing to worry about, really. When a pack howls, they're just saying, "We're over here!" Now, most other wolves would interpret that as also meaning, "This is my territory, stay out!" But scientists have discovered that a few packs of wolves interpret the howls as an invitation to fight. These bands of bullies zero in on the howling bunch and try to beat them up and steal their territory. So, no howling, please. It would be just our luck to attract one of these rogue wolf packs. Just a short commute, and here we are in the San Juan Islands of Washington State. You can take off those parkas now. We're in luck. Oh, look at this pod of killer whales. These marine mammals, which are also called orcas, by the way, use echolocation to find their prey, just like submarines use sonar to keep track of objects around them. Now, some of my diving friends say that orcas can project sound so forcefully that if you're in their path, you can actually feel the sound waves bounce off of you. Their mouths are full of very impressive teeth. But thank goodness, orcas are not interested in echolocating humans for dinner. They're after salmon and seals. And now it's back on the plane and off to the mountains. Really, who designed this tour? No closer now, folks. This cat does not appreciate petting. Did you know that mountain lions once roamed nearly everywhere in North America? But today, you'll find them only in more remote areas, like these mountains in Idaho. Once in a while, these animals have somehow gotten into passing trains and hopped off in urban parks. Cougars in town. Oh, that gives both the city folks and the big cats quite a scare. Oh, now where did I put my coat? Well, never mind. The next stop is Florida, where I can thaw out my toes.
If something isn't nibbling on them.
Ah, warm weather at last. You might be surprised to find out that there are over 200 species of crab spiders in the meadows of North America. Now, some blend in with their backgrounds almost perfectly. Now, can you see the one in the middle here? Now, these spiders are not dangerous to people, although any spider can bite, believe me, but to bees and other insects, they're deadly. If you go flower picking, check out the blossoms carefully, or you may hand your sweetheart a bunch of crab spiders.
Yes, indeed. Of course, that is pretty funny to imagine.
Oh my, don't touch that fellow. You could get a painful rash from a puss moth caterpillar. They can squirt formic acid when they're upset. Some people call them tree asps, like they were venomous snakes. Well, personally, I think that's going a bit overboard. But then everyone has his little phobia. But anyway, if you see one, don't pick it up. Both you and the caterpillar will be happier. Well, really, there seem to be buggy things crawling around all over this place. Well, I suppose that's only natural. Insects outnumber humans hundreds of thousands to one, after all. Well, sometimes the very thought gives me nightmares. Why, if insects ever got organized and decided to fight humans, we'd be helpless. But fortunately, that would happen only in the movies. They have only teeny tiny brains after all, and they seem to focus their aggressions only on each other. Still, stay out of the way of these battling stag beetles. They might grab you by mistake, and those pincers hurt. Ooh!
Yeah, stag beetles are cool. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I wanted one of the Beast Wars figures that transformed into a stag beetle. I never got it. They're very interesting looking animals.
Now, if there's anything I can't abide, it's an overly friendly reptile like this one. Oh, sure, they'll smile and sidle right up to you, and the next thing you know, they've got their teeth sunk into your leg. Never trust them, that's what I say. They get this way because some people that live along rivers and canals in Florida think it's fun to feed alligators from their boat docks. But it's never a bright idea to teach wild animals to associate food with people. Imagine finding this fellow scratching at your back door for supper.
Yes, quite the thing to see, wouldn't it be?
Now here's something that you might like to find in your backyard. It's a rather fearsome-looking spider, but it's smaller than your fingertip, and it eats mosquitoes and other pesky insects. Spiny orb weavers like this one live all across the southern U.S., from Florida to California. Well, first it was cold and damp, now it's hot and damp. I'm starting to feel like the proverbial limp dish rag. Let's zip over to Arizona and dry out before my athlete's foot starts acting up. Ah, warm, dry air at last. What's that? Oh, not to worry. It's just a little Gila monster. Oh, yes, it is venomous, but a Gila monster would rather do almost anything than fight. Oh, matter of fact, if you get bitten by one, the response you'll probably get from local wildlife authorities is, well, just what were you doing to the Gila monster? And if you say, trying to catch it, you may be in for a fine as well as a medical bill, because it's against the law to capture Gila monsters in many places. So just remember, if you grab a Gila monster, you may end up needing both a doctor and a lawyer. Oh, that thought is certainly enough to make me stay far away from these lizards. Let's just walk on.
Imagine how suicidal you'd be to have to try and catch one of these.
Oh dear, here's a creature I'm all too familiar with. There are scorpions all across the southern United States, and certainly down into Mexico. Oh, believe me, it's always more desirable to discover a scorpion by sight rather than touch. If you want to avoid finding out what a scorpion's sting feels like, I advise you not to reach or step into dark, cool places without looking first. Speaking of dark, cool places, let's just take a quick peek into this cave over here. Ooh, you never know what treasures you're going to find in the wilderness.
Yeah, sorry about that beeping. My charger just got loose.
If you're camping out in Scorpion Country, shake your shoes out when you get up in the morning. I once put my foot into my boot without looking, and I got a nasty...
Oh, for goodness sake.
If you're camping out in Scorpion Country, shake your shoes out when you get up in the morning. I once put my foot into my boot without looking, and I got a nasty sting. However, at least I survived the experience, yes. The scorpion did not.
And look at this. Half the world is Scorpion Country. Back!
My apologies if I've trampled anyone. Well, I've never seen so many rattlesnakes all together like this. Oh, a remarkable sight. Definitely worth a notation in your journals. Yeah, a photograph? Well, I really wouldn't advise it, not unless you've got a zoom lens. Yeah. You'd like a shot of me in front of the snakes? Well, I'm very flattered, but, oh, so sorry. Oh, we're all out of time. I've got to rush now. Well, I'm due to lead some more tours, hopefully some without so many snakes. If you'd like to come along, click my button again to get back to the guide screen. If you really want to explore on your own, click the buttons below, but be careful out there.
And that is North American Trek. It's very good. Well, I always felt like I was going on an adventure, and I still do. Anyway, I'm Brian Croydregan signing out. Stay straight.